Morning, sis.
Good to have you.
Same here. I'm excited to be here with you.
I know that. I can see the smile already.
Thank you.
Okay, so we want to talk about, of course, the Financial Solution Show is that show that helps people to chase their vision, pursue value, and definitely money will chase them back. I mean, talk about money, talk about the importance. It's literally like you can't do anything without money. But also, we know that it's not just about having money, it's about being educated and knowing how to, become financially independent. And in that same vein, we're going to be looking at digital businesses and wealth creation skills. So I want you to give us, just talk to us what you have for our listeners this morning.
Okay, good. So this morning we need to establish what wealth creation is all about.
True.
People love money, but they need to know that money are in stages. Okay, there's a level where money will get to you that you're no more going to be rich, you're now wealthy. So I want to talk about this aspect because we have to be intentional. We need to begin to grow from the level we are and begin to see beyond, begin to see with the eye of the abundance. And when you begin to see with the eyes of the abundance, then you have a lot to say. So people want to make more money, acquire more wealth, but we need to talk about the steps, the action plan. Okay, I'm a cleaner, how can I get it done?
Right.
Okay, I work somewhere, okay, how can I get this done? And this is the breakdown we're going to be doing. So to get us started, what is wealth? Wealth is abundance of either money, financial asset, any property, anything that is an asset that can be converted into finance, like money, is actually what is called wealth.
Wow.
So when you now have it in abundance, that means that you are wealthy. So it means that I can have enough asset like property, I can have enough asset like cryptocurrency, I could have enough asset like money itself. Okay, I could even have enough asset like quality, values. All of these can be translated into the classification of wealth. So when I wake up every morning, I want to ask myself, what is the steps I need to take to become wealthy? And that takes us to wealth creation itself.
Okay, I like that beautiful analogy, and I like the fact that you have been able to simplify what wealth is all about. Anything that's an asset. So if you have an asset that can be converted into finance, then that's wealth. Good. And then talking about, you talked about the abundance of it and all of that. Yes, so you're going to talk to us, for example, a lot of people, we've been talking about for a while now, talking about digital skills that people can use, to like, for example, to make what's the word now, like side hustle and all that stuff. Now I believe that some people are just focused on what their need for the now.
That's right.
And sometimes it doesn't give them that lasting impact that they really want in their finances. So how do you go from just acquiring a skill to making something out of it in terms of wealth and retaining it?
Okay, great. So the first point is that you need to identify a skill set that can take you there. Now, either you're learning it, either by having a mentor, you need to identify a skill that will take you there, because there's always a skill that can pay the bills. There's always a skill that can pay the bills. So for example, you're an expert in voiceover, you're an expert in studio matter, that is your line. However, you must understand that when you are in your learning phase, you need to find a way to invest more into yourself that can now take you into the next level, that you can now begin to talk about wealth. Now let's take it from the framework. Now the first stage is learning the skill,
right? The
second stage is becoming an expert. The third stage is now becoming a consultant. Now either at this level, the money you're going to be making as a learner when you're learning is not the same when you become an expert. And it's not going to be the same when you become a consultant. Now all of this has to do with experience. So here's the challenge I have with people. They want to learn a skill set and they want to become an expert overnight. And wealth is never done overnight. Like for example, when we talk about wealth, one of the most amazing people I have studied is Warren Buffett. He started buying Coke investment at in the 1980s, and people were selling off Coke. People were selling off Coke asset, and he kept on buying it. Now Warren Buffett did not become number 1 or top 10 in 1980. It became top 10 in late 90s. Now it took him 10 to 20 years to move into that phase. So whatever you're doing right now, for you to be financially free, you must give it time. You must invest time into it. You must put in enough. Like some people say, oh, I want money. But the question is, what is the skill set that you're going to be converting into money? So when you identify the skill set, now here's the cheat code. The cheat code is that once you identify the skill set, then you identify a mentor. The journey will be simpler. So for example, okay, I started when I left I used to work in a bank. I worked in the bank for 5 years, and when I left the bank, I started my digital marketing company. And for the first 1.5 years, I was not making money. Like, geez, I was like every other person that was dropping proposal everywhere, that was everywhere trying to make sales. But I discovered that I was stretching myself and I was not meeting up my financial bills. So what did I do? I sat down and I did my research on who are the people that are succeeding in this digital business, this digital market. Who are the people? Then I found the likes of Dr. Stephen Akintayo. I met the likes of Dr. Okwebanwo. Then I went to study them as case study.
Wow.
So everything they were doing, I was willing to do it. See, because success is simple. Look at what is working and go and repeat.
Wow. I like that.
Look at what is working, go and repeat. See, there's nothing hard. It's about copy and paste. But when you're copying and pasting, you have to put intelligence in it. So for example, if I want to write a book on digital marketing, and I've seen my mentor write a book on digital marketing, I have to make sure I bring in my own originality in it. Sure. Like I promised you guys the other time, yesterday, that I was going to be sharing with you 5 models, maybe in the course of the week in another episode, that you're going to be actively getting involved with. But the question today, what we'll be doing is that, how can I even start up? I'm working in a bank. I work 9 to 5. How can I become wealthy? So we want to be able to give you frameworks that will help you to get started. So number 1, identify the skill. Number 2, invest in the skill and become an expert. Then move from there to become a consultant. Somebody will say, what's the difference between an expert and a consultant? Okay, so in 2015, this will get you.
Okay, you know what we're going to do is
great.
We'll go on a quick break, and then when we come back, you take it up from differentiating between an expert and a consultant.
Fantastic.
And yes, I would like to pick Mr. James Adesina's brain on this a little before we go on that break. Just a little on what we're talking about. Before we went on that quick commercial, we were talking about digital skills and, of course, wealth creation with our guest, Mayowa Owolabi. And some of the things he has said that I would like to reiterate. He talked about what wealth is all about. Anything that's an asset that can actually be converted into finance is also can be tagged as what wealth is all about. And then he also talked about, the ability to learn new skills is important, becoming an expert, and of course also becoming a consultant. And not just learning skills, but of course looking for people in that field, okay, that can mentor you in such a way that you can become a better person. And so before we went on that break, I said you're going to talk to us about the difference between expert and being an expert and being a consultant.
Fantastic. So I said in 2015, I had an event. I also attended an event in Protea Keja, and at that event I was asked a particular question by one of my mentors, Dr. Okwebanwo, and he asked in that meeting that who are the people that does website here and makes over 100,000 naira, and we're just 2 in that meeting that raised up our hands, and we're about like 100 people in the hall, digital business. And they said, okay, so is that what you make? Yeah, we said yes. And we're so excited to stand up. And he said, do you know that I just finished a website for 10 million, and the person that designed the website was giving 200,000.
Wow.
Then I said, geez, what did you just say, sir? And the guy that collected the 200,000 was already excited, like, geez, this is good. This is a good business. So for me, I held that, and that changed my mentality. Okay. Because you must know the time to move from being an expert into a consultant. So who is a consultant? A consultant is somebody who has left the face of been an expert, and now I've done several research and gained mastery, and now is monetizing mastery. So for example, somebody is asking me, oh Mr. Mayowa, do you do website? I'm a website lord. I've been here, I've done several amazing projects, but right now I'm not the one designing website again, because I've left the face of website and I've moved into a consultant. So I have people in my office who designs website for me, so I don't touch in as much as I love it. I know some people are listening right now, they love to be an expert, they are passionate about it, graphics designer, video editors, website designers, all of these amazing experts, they love to be an expert, but you must know that expert will always pay you less. You need to move into consultancy. And let me also establish here that there is a framework for the time. So let's say that your learning curve should be between 2 to 5 years. Your expertise should be between 2 to 5 years, then altogether 10 years. Once you have 10 years exposure or experience in an industry, move into a consultant. And when you move into a consultant, you now need to acquire more knowledge. You have to know it front and back to be able to talk about it. When you're able to talk about it, give recommendation, give solution, then you give the job to an expert, then you make the money, then you share the bill. So that's basically how it's done. So you need to move from learning the skill, move into an expert, and becoming a consultant. Then at the consultant phase, you're good to go.
Amazing. Your name and where you're calling us from?
I'm Noble, calling from Lagos.
Where in Lagos, please?
Ojo.
Okay, what's your question?
It's about the mentorship. I want to ask, to be an expert, like how long does it take? Does it really mean you have to be there for like 10 years to be an expert?
Okay, listen through the radio waves will definitely answer that question. Yeah.
Okay, so to be an expert, you don't need to take that long. Now, you must understand the place of your 24 hours, which I will talk about in more episodes to come. You must know that it is just the period where you are implementing what you have learned in that skill as an expert. So one of the cheat code here is to go and become an intern. So I had to go become an intern with a mentor. So while I was there, I was learning and I was implementing. And it took me less than 8 months. I was good to go. As a matter of fact, I was able to replicate the result that I needed in less than 6 months. The kind of result I was in need of. So everyone who wants to move from learning into an expert, you must just create time and invest enough time to implement what you have learned in that your early stage of coming into that skill set. Then once you implement it, you are good to go. But like I said, a cheat code is the internship model. So once you learn, let's say you learn graphics, you already know how to design graphics, can you look for a graphics company that is doing well and go and do it for free? I did my own for free. I wasn't paid for 6 good months. My wife was pregnant, bills were jumping everywhere, but for 6 months I was willing to pay the price. But 6 months after, the rest is history.
Amazing.
Right. What are the differences between being an authority and being a consultant in the field of specialization? I believe he means to say expert. That's what he's saying, right? An expert and being a consultant. He's asking for the differences. Yeah.
Okay, so when you move from expertise into consultancy, you're already an authority. Okay, so don't differentiate it. It's just that moving, once you're into the consultancy phase, you are going to be needing to give out more education about that industry. Then as you scale up more, people endorse you as an authority. So you need to know that you don't need to split consultancy phase and authority phase. It is just that the consultancy phase is more of the early phase of becoming an authority.
Right.
Okay, so they are together.
All right, thank you very much. So there's another one here, Akintoye Dunamis. He says he's following the session with Mr. Mayowa Owolabi. I'm so loaded and he's learning a lot. So his primary question is, how would I know that I'm implementing what I'm learning while still being an intern? How do you know that what you're learning is easy to implement whilst you're still in the learning process, basically?
Okay, fantastic. So before you even come into the learning phase, you need to have created a vision or a goal. So it means that, oh, I want to become an amazing speech or producer or cleaner or anyone, speaker. So when you set that goal, then while you are in the internship phase, you are checking the process. Are you growing? Are you delivering? For example, you want to check, if you're a speaker, you want to check your diction, you want to check your research phase, you want to check all of those stuff. So once you know that all those TikToks is all those checklists are being ticked, then you know that you are growing. But you must also check, like for example, one of the things I did when I was doing my intern was that everything the boss, my mentor, tells me to do, I was doing it daily. And this is somebody that always sends 2 WhatsApp messages every day to all his broadcast list. And I said to myself, I don't understand, why will you be bugging people? And he said, no, I don't need them, they need me. So if you don't want me, you block me. Jeez. Wow. And he did that
mindset.
He did that to a level where he's not a billionaire and you cannot stop him away from it. And he still sends 2 messages every day till date. And I've known him for more than 7-8 years right now. So that is one of the things I learned from him. Another thing I learned from him, every day he will talk about you buying something from him. Some of us, our status is blank. We go copy comedy of somebody else and we are promoting someone else model. You're promoting somebody else. Can your skill be, yes, you're not yet perfect, you're still learning, but can your WhatsApp, can your Facebook, can your Instagram be loaded with your line of job instead of just, you know, so it's deep. So we're here for a long time. It's actually
a lot. Yes, I like that. We are here for a long time. We can't really churn out everything right now, but because we know that we have inquisitive minds, so we are even glad that we have listeners who are asking questions and all. If you also want to call in, please do well to call 0906-3352. So we're not giving you breathing space. We want you to be financially free. So all of the information are coming back to back. So, like you said, if you don't want it, maybe you can't block Osha. Because we're here to help you. Okay, I think we have another question.
Yeah, it's a follow-up question from Dunamis. He says that during the internship process, you go there to learn and serve. So he's asking, how is it that you don't get carried away with the act of service whilst you're still learning?
Come again.
He says, how do I not get carried away with the act of service while I'm still learning? That's in regards to internship.
Fantastic. So in the place of service, all of them is under your goal and your vision. When I needed to do internship, I wrote that I was going to do it for 6 months.
Okay.
I have people that have worked with me, they did 6 months. I have people that they're currently doing 1 year. You need to have that goal, that plan. But you see, when you don't have the plan, somebody else can shift it for you. Like if you don't have a plan, you'll be helping somebody else's plan. If you don't have a plan, you'll be helping someone else's plan. So you need to have your plan. So while I'm in this phase, learning and serving, I want to make sure it's in alignment with my plan. So once I am done, I know that I'm done with that phase and I go out and implement. Now, another thing I see a lot of people do is that they still, now, when you're learning, because you have said 6 months, you also need to be sure that you are now ripe.
Right.
You are ready for what you have learned. Because, for example, if you're in for 6 months and you want to learn maybe 3 framework from that mentor, and you've just learned 1 framework, it means that you should not go. You need to complete the 3 framework. What did I learn then? I learned skills, I learned sales, I learned communication, I learned some certain frameworks that was from that person's strength. So if I had come in from only digital marketing, probably people would just know me right now as a digital marketing person. But right now I'm more than a digital marketing person because I learned those frameworks separately. And that's it. I hope that helps.
Yeah, that's about all the questions we have.
Thank you so much. I mean, we've been getting calls. Please do well to call us back.